Welcome back, dear students, in the second part of population dynamics. Today we'll be discussing about population density. Try to understand the concept. Density means this is an average number of people per square kilometer or mile in a country or a region. And for better understanding, you can just try to take a look at the world map, and in this we can understand with the help of the color how the population density varies. Try to understand the population density in a more better way with the help of these given diagrams. In this, region A and region B are marked along 1 square kilometer. Now, population density is measured in square kilometer areas. So in region A there are more people, so it is a dense, and as it is dense, the population density in region A is higher. On the other hand, in the region B, the population is a sparse, that's why here the population density is low. And this is how generally the population density is calculated all over the world. Now you can just try to find out the most populous state in India. That's a question for you. The most populous state in India plus the least populous state in India, along with the most densely populated state and the least density, that is overpopulation and underpopulation. Before that, here is question for you. You are supposed to find out the two states in India that have an equal populations to of any other countries in the world. Just any two states, compare with the any two countries, and the population should be same of the state and any other country in the world. That's a activity for you. Take a look at now overpopulation and underpopulation. Try to understand these concepts. The idea of optimum population has been mainly understood in an economic sense. Here optimum means favorable. The favorable population can be understood mainly because of economic sense or economic stabilities. How it can understand? Example, the increasing population in India or any other part of the world exploits the country's resources basically, and they try to use the resources at the fullest. And when they use this technology or the resources at the fullest, definitely the living standard of the people in that area increases. So it is a one sign that population increases, the living standard also increases along with that, because the increasing population try to make use of the resources available in the country for the betterment of life. This is a basic. There should be a limit to the increment in the population, and if that population growth continuously increases and started using the resources continuously, so it will have the strain on the resources. Strain, it can damage the resources, and slowly we can see the decline in the living standard. And the highest average living standards mark the optimum population. In the sense, the countries, those who manage the optimum population, definitely they will have the standard living, but if they crosses that optimum level, definitely the resources become less and the population become more, so there is an imbalance, and because of that we can see the standard degrades. That's why every country need to focus on the optimum population. And here, before that population is reached, the country or the region can be said to be underpopulated. This means there is a one concept or one area where we can see that is called as optimum population. Optimum in the sense favorable. Less than that population it is called as underpopulation. And more than optimum it is called as overpopulation. This is a simple concept. The level should not be crossed. And if it is crossed, then we'll have some other defects. And if it is not maintained, then too there are some other defects. As the population rises beyond the optimum, the country or the region can be said to be overpopulated. Here you can see in the diagram. Crosses the optimum, then it becomes overpopulation. In terms of the planet as a whole, there are many indications that human population is pushing up against the limits of the Earth's resources. If we just consider the whole world, we can just try to understand that the population in the whole world is trying to cross the optimum level because of the favorable factors or because of the resources, and that resources you can just try to understand here. Now, once the optimum level is crossed, the population becomes over, and in that case what happens? Here we can check. 1/4 of the world's children have protein energy malnutrition. Most of the children are not getting the protein and the energy nutritions. The long-term trend for the grain productions per person is declining as the number of forests are being cut for the agriculture and more land is being used for the industry setup and for the habitation. There is a gradual declination into the growth of agriculture products. So definitely the grain production also demarcates. Next concepts we can have. About 40% of the agriculture land is moderately degraded and 9% is highly degraded. The land which is used for agriculture now, it is just being converted in bad land, being transformed for industries, being transformed for habitation. The water scarcity already affects every continent and 4 of the every 10 people in the world. And we may that most of the people in the world are facing the water scarcity because of the polluted water, because of the less water availability, because of the rain failures. And as the population increasing, there is always great demand for the water, but water resources are limited. 1/4 of all fish stocks are over harvested. Fishing, when it is done according to the demand. More population, more demand of fish, and that's why more fishing is carried out, and because of that the number of species of the fish are becoming extinct. There are concerns that the global peak oil productions will come as early as the next decade. So in the whole world, we can just try to understand that peak oil, the production of the oil, will have a great concern for the people, because increasing population will definitely lead to have the higher demand of oil, and that will definitely create a problem in the production because we may not supply according to the demand. Just like petrol discussed above are mainly faced globally. But if you think about an individual country, the population and the resources, their connection can be a matter of opinion. Means here different people can have the different views for the population and resource utilization, and that can be changed over a period of time according to the economic cycles. In the sense, it is dependent on the country how they are about to use the resources according to the population present in that country. So there may be some fluctuations we can see. After getting a brief idea about what is underpopulation and what is overpopulation, now we can just try to take a look at that. What are the causes and the consequences of overpopulation and underpopulation? Just try. Causes and consequences of overpopulation and underpopulation. Consequences, results. Take a look at. The Netherlands and UK are two of the most densely populated countries in Europe. In UK, an organization called Optimum Population Trust states that 30 million is the optimum population for the country. At present, the population of the United Kingdom, that's UK, is about 63 million. And the signs of population pressure in both UK and Netherlands include the intense competition for land, heavy traffic congestions, high house prices, high environmental impact of economic activity, and the pressure on water resources. So here in short we can understand that in Europe the optimum is favorable population is 30 million, but in United Kingdom only we have 63 million. This means what? It crosses the optimum population, so it becomes overpopulated. As this is overpopulated, UK and Netherlands are facing some problems. The first problem is there is a lots of competition for land. The land that can be used for industries, for living and for agriculture. Heavy traffic can be seen like in Mumbai and Delhi. There are very high prices of the houses are also there. And most probably the high environmental impact of economic activity. So whatever economic activity we do, for example, industry setup, new business or new project launch, because of that there is a very high pressure on environment, and most importantly pressure on water resources. That's one example about how overpopulated can concern to the people. Now in developing countries, in the developing world, China and Bangladesh are countries that many would view as overpopulated. And it is quite natural. When you look at to the world map, general knowledge says that Bangladesh and China has good number of population, so these countries may called as overpopulated.